So the under 20 women's team comfortably defeated the Ghana women's team under 20 as well in their Wafu B Girls Cup, which actually started today. The opener was played this afternoon, and the Nigerian team obviously came good, in the match, scoring two first half goals and then conceding one in the second half, and then they went on to score in the dime minute goals coming from the likes of Janet Akerem Kowi. She scored two goals in the 37th minute and then in the 44 plus 1 minute. And then the Ghanaian side pulled one back in the 49th minute before the likes of Favor Onkwacha sealed the victory in the 88th minute for the Nigerian women's under 17 team. So this competition is actually a very mini competition, the Wafu B zone, and of course it is just a competition that has just three teams. Nigeria, Ghana, and then there is Benin Republic, who are the host of this one. So the competition is currently being played in Benin Republic, and then our next game is going to be against the host nation, which is Benin Republic. So how it basically works is that these three teams will play amongst themselves twice, and you know the winner the it's going to be the winner of the championship is going to be judged based on points. So at the end of the day, the team that has the maximum points after they've played themselves, in a what is called a round bean system, then the one that has the highest point is going to be crowned the champion. So that's basically what's happening right now. Of course, the next game is coming up very very quick and fast. They just played today, and their next game is against Benin Republic tomorrow, being Sunday, around I think 10 p.m. 10 a.m. rather. So with very little time to recover, but again, the girls looked really sharp, and at the end of the match, it looks like it doesn't look like we have anything to worry about in terms of injury. So hopefully, see the girls come out strong again tomorrow morning to prosecute that one against the host nation. Well, let's move forward, guys, and let's react a little bit with what's happening right now with the Super Eagles. Of course, we saw a very strong list that was released early hours of today. But I mean, the list is still met with some level of criticisms. Even though I said in the last video that the list was obviously a list that I was impressed by. It left out some good players who are in top form. Especially the likes of Paul Onachu. It was the man that I didn't even realize when I was analyzing that previous video. I didn't realize that Onachu was not in the mix, because obviously I would have mentioned it. And this man went on again to score today, when Trabzonspor played out a 1-1 draw against Alanyaspor. And what a way for him to react or respond to the snub from Kucherik Shell, by scoring a goal. And if you look at the man tally now, it's now eighth in total in the Turkish Super League. Is obviously the leading goal scorer, topping the likes of Osimhen, Icardi, and the rest. And what is done in recent times, if I'm to list what is done in recent times, it's really fantastic. In the last 2 months, scored 8 goals, in total, 1 assist in 11 games, and then won the Turkey Super League Goal of the Month for August, won the Turkey Super League Player of the Month for August, won the Goal of the Month for September, won the Player of the Month for September, and then won the Player of the Month for October. So he's basically won Player of the Month for 3 months successively, last 3 months successively, and then won Best Goal of the Month twice. This is some outstanding, top performance from Paul Onachu. And I mean, not to make that list is a bit sad. I feel for the man. I really feel for the man. But in Coach Eric Shaw's defense, I would think that maybe he wants to opt to a more different version of an attack. Maybe he already has the big men. Of course, he does. Tolu Arokodare is in the squad. He's a big man, just like Paul Onuachu, 6'6", 6'7". So probably Coach Eric Shaw wants to go with another kind of pattern. Having smaller forwards who can actually hold the ball, dribble past their opponents, create chances, and are very light in terms of they can run, backward, they can run forward to attack and then track back to assist the defender. So I'm thinking this is probably why Coach Eric Shaw decided to snub Paul Onuachu, because yes, that's what it is. He snubbed him. We have to call it what it is, because he wants people like Chidera Ejuke, Olakunle Olusegun, Chukwueze and the likes. So that's basically what I think has just happened there. But I mean, big ups to Paul Onuachu. I just want him to continue the form that he is, and definitely when his time comes, nobody's going to stop him. Well, let's move on and talk about some more reactions that is coming out from the Gabonese camp. Of course, the coach has now come out to react further about this match. Earlier video, I let you guys know what he said, talking about the plans to mark Victor Osimhen. But right now, he's also come out to talk more about, this match. And in this latest statement, he's saying that, football matches isn't all about big names, but it's about the tactics that is carried out on the pitch. And he says that Nigeria is a country Nigeria is a big name country. It's a country that has history. They are one of the best when it comes to African continent in terms of football. But he is saying that sometimes the best doesn't always win. They don't always emerge as the victorious ones. And he also used themselves as an example, where he said that Gabon did so well in their group. He says they amassed up to 25 points, but they still failed to qualify. And they were the best. They were one of the best in their group, but they didn't qualify, even though they were one of the best. So he's trying to use this analogy to say that his team has a chance. The Gabonese side have a chance. That's what he's trying to say against the Super Eagles, because there is what is called the underdog, and the big team isn't always the one that comes out victorious at the end of the day. But just to read out some of the things that he has said lately, he said, it's not by big names, but about tactics on the pitch. It won't be a matter of solving problems on an individual level. It's about tactical execution. The challenge today is to keep up with the top-ranked teams. The Nigeria we are facing was a top team in the group, and in the end, they did not qualify because they were not first in their group. So the idea that the strongest always wins no longer holds true today. So that is part of what he said. And then he goes further to say, when you look at it, Nigeria, Cameroon, DR Congo, and Gabon, the top would be Gabon, who finished with 25 points in the group, which would have been enough to qualify in other groups. Unfortunately, in the same group, we are fourth in the FIFA rankings. That means there are many considerations when approaching a match of this level. We are heading into a tough playoff, which for me is similar to the knockout stages of AFCON. If Gabon wants to continue growing in football and aim beyond the quarterfinals in competitions, we must be able to compete with the big African nations, and Nigeria is definitely one of them. Our players are used to playing in big matches. So this is basically what Thierry Moyoma has come out to say. Of course, I mean, he's been grabbing every bit of opportunity that he has with the media, with the journalists, to talk about this match, to really try to prove a point to people, to the world, that they are not pushovers and they can really stand their ground against a Super Eagles side that everybody is tipping to go on and win them in that encounter on the 13th. But it's going to be very interesting, guys. Of course, a lot of build-ups will be coming up regarding that match, and hopefully, you know, our boys will finish their matches this weekend. So of course, some played their games today, and then some will play their own tomorrow. I think we'll probably have some players who will be playing on Monday, and then after that, everybody is expected to show up in camp and start preparing for that game against Gabon.